More math. 42 is where I'm at, I think. Come on, there we go. All I gotta do is find an ink pen. Find the general solution. Remember these? Notice how they have the weird stuff here? So this is cosine. Cosine has a period of 2 pi. However, we have this here. So our period is equal to 2 pi over 2, which is pi. That's a big deal. All right? It's a huge deal. I hope you get that. They do want a general solution, not just answers. They want a general solution. All right, so let's go ahead and do the math on this thing. The 1 gets moved over. 2 cosine of twice theta is -1. The 2 gets divided out. The cosine of twice theta is -1/2. So on a unit circle, I'm pretty tired, so I'm going to think it's over here and here. Wouldn't that be like 2 pi over 3? And this guy right here, wouldn't that be 4 pi over 3? Sorry, twice theta is 2 pi over 3, or twice theta is 4 pi over 3. So when I divide by the 2, I get pi over 3, or 2 pi over 3. So gone, gone. Now this one had something good. Sorry, you didn't see me strike choices. That had something good. Period of pi. Those are the answers, but it doesn't talk about what you might add to it. Those are the answers there too. Look at this. 2 pi k. We had a period of pi. Choice C. Find the exact value of the arc sine of 1 over root 2. Arc sine is allowed to be drawn in quadrants 1 and 4. And this is a positive number, so I'm going to draw in quadrant 1. Sine ratio is opposite over hypotenuse. Missing legs 1 because you know your 45-45-90 theorem. So that's done. And the tangent ratio here is obviously going to be 1. 44, for what values of x on the interval negative pi to pi does the graph f of x equals the cosecant of twice x plus pi over 2 have, oh my Lanta, have vertical asymptotes? Sucks. First we have to graph sine, and I'm going to do some factoring here, twice x plus pi over 4 because I'm factoring. Now I have to do that. My period here is going to be 2 pi over that 2, which is pi. So I'm going to go from 0 to pi. Halfway between is pi over 2. Halfway between that's pi over 4. Halfway between that's, what, 3 pi over 4. And let's see here. This is my phase shift. I am left pi over 4 because it says plus. So I'm actually going to fall back. Amplitude on sine would be 1. And if I remember right, sine starts low. So that's sine. The dashed is the sine function. Cosecant has asymptotes wherever you cross the x-axis because the reciprocal of 0 is undefined. And the solid would be cosecant. So, oh, they want me to do negative pi to pi, didn't they? I have to keep going, don't I? Oops. So I guess we'd have negative pi over 2, negative 3 pi over 4, and then negative pi. Let me continue my dashing here. Wherever you cross, that should have been dashed too, sorry. Anyways, where do we have these Vertical asymptotes. I believe it's choice D. Some of these don't even make sense. Like, what kind of moron, and please don't be that moron, picks that one? That's bigger than pi. Well, don't be that idiot. I want to say a name here, but I'm not going to. One of you would be that idiot. Possibly two of you. Use the law of signs, find the missing side, round your answer nearest decimal digit. Obviously, you won't have a calculator at your disposal, but that being said, you can do quite a bit. Yours would be multiple choice. It would be. You could have something that talks about which one of these might be their answer. So sine of A is to side A, sine of B is to side B. So here's going to be sine of 60 is to A, which is 5. And we want side B as sine of 50 is to little b, which my b sucks, so here it is, it's x. And what you would have on your test would be where you do the work. You can cross multiply. X sines of 60 is 5 sines of 50. Divide by sine 60. That is a reasonable answer for you. Something that's also reasonable is if they played with this. Not to trick you, just to see what you know. Sine of 60 is root 3 over 2, isn't it? So maybe they did like this, and they're like, aha, let's go ahead. Division of a 1/2 is like multiplying by 2. Maybe like, wait a second, there's a radical in the denominator. If I was doing a non-calculator test, that would be the answer choice all day long. If I was creating a non-calculator choice on law of sines, that would be the answer choice. Suppose the sine of theta is negative 2/5 and theta is in quadrant 4. Evaluate the secant of theta. So right triangle in quadrant 4, theta prime is reference, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. What's missing here is obviously the root of 21 because you know how to do Pythagorean theorem, which I apparently wrote wrong. You know, that's where that comes from. And we want secant, and secant is a funny guy. Hypotenuse over adjacent. Hypotenuse is 5, adjacent's root 21. And they tried to speed up their test takers here, and they didn't even clean it up. 5 over root 21. '47, find the solutions to the equation tangent of theta is negative 1 over root 3 equals 0 over the interval 0 to 2 pi. So because they have this defined interval, that one's gone, right? So by moving to the right, the tangent of theta is positive 1 over root 3. I don't know if you want to do this with unit circles or whatever. I don't know if you do or not. Some of you can, some of you can't. All strippers take cash. I can be in quadrant 1 or I can be in quadrant 3. Tangent ratio is opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. And what we gain here is we gain reference angles. This is a 30-degree reference angle. That's a 30-degree reference angle. So one of the answers is 30 degrees, and the other one is 210. So I'm looking at pi over 6 and 7 pi over 6. Done. Moving on to 48. Law of cosines to find the length of side C in the triangle ABC, where A is 3, B is 3, and the angle ABC is 120 degrees. All right, so they want this little c. This little c squared is a squared, which is 3, so 3 squared plus b, which is also 3 squared. By the way, law of cosines is c squared is a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosines of angle C. Anyway, so where was I? Minus 2 times 3 times 3 times the cosine of 120 degrees. Cosine of 120 degrees, if you think about your unit circle, is known. Is it not? I feel like it is. I think you know what the cosine of 120 degrees is. You should. It's negative 1/2. All right, so c squared is, we got 9 and 9 makes 18 minus 18, interesting, and times a negative 1/2. That's a big deal. So that's going to be 27. So c is the root of 27. Choice A. I guess I can finish this during my lunch break. Maybe. If the sine of x plus the cosine of x is 1/2, what is the value of sine of x? I think they mean times cosine of x. And they give us a hint here. It says square both sides. So I guess I'll do that hint. It was nice of them, wasn't it? Let's see what happens. If we square both sides, we get sine squared of x plus 2 sine x cosine x plus cosine squared. Ah, I see it. We got to square this 2 equals 1/4. Well, that's 1, isn't it? 1 plus 2 sine x cosine x is 1/4. We're going to subtract the 1. 2 sines of x cosines of x is negative 3/4. And I see why they gave that hint. Because I've seen 2 sine x cosine x before in my life. It's the sine of twice t right there. So the sine of twice x in this case is negative 3/4. And for sine to be negative, and because we're using arc sine, we're going to draw in quadrant 4. We do, boy, I'm tired, opposite over hypotenuse, really. Negative 3, 4. What's missing here? Root 7? So 2x is equal to, well, that doesn't make sense. Oh, because I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. If 2 times the sine of x cosine of x is negative 3/4, then sine of x cosine of x has to be negative 3/8, because all I had to do was divide by 2. I'm an idiot. Choice D. I love feeling stupid every once in a while. So you use law of cosines, find the measure of angle A, and again, you would have some response that shows you know how to do the work. Now, when I talk about the law of cosines, the C, as far as I'm concerned, is the curious piece. It's what you're curious about. Here you're curious about angle A. So it's actually going to be A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosines of angle A, because you're interested in angle A. So 25 squared is 32 squared minus 37 squared plus minus 2 times 32 times 37 times the cosine of angle A. I don't have one of the little calculators on me, but you know it'll do 25 times 25, right? It will. You get one you can see. You know, you're going to figure out what 25 times 25 is. You're going to take away from that 32 times 32. Won't be able to do as easily here. You also got to take away from that 37 times 37. And when you move these pieces over to the left, you get negative 1768. You're still equal to these products. -2368 times the cosine of angle A. And what you're going to do is you're going to isolate and do the arcs. So you'll divide out your 2368. I wouldn't expect them to ask you to simplify. But that is the cosine of angle A, so angle A would have to be the arc cosine of this ratio. And that would be the reasonable expectation for you to be able to take this type of problem too, and that would be the answer choice. Everything you can do without technology would be your answer choice. All right, that's the second one of these I've done.